Hey, what's up, everybody? This is a really important thing I wanted to share with everyone. Most of us have no idea about it, and it's a shame because it's one of the most important things for us to be aware of and to just know that it's happening constantly. And that is that no matter what you do, no matter what you think, we are constantly healing. We are constantly rising up. We're constantly r- rising towards happiness. I know that sounds cheesy, yeah, and you're probably thinking, well, this doesn't make sense. Most people are depressed and miserable and angry and are suffering and are struggling. Yeah, that could be true as well. But our nature, the way things are happening with us, within us, naturally, is that we're like a balloon full of helium and we're just rising. That our nature is just our destiny. What if, I don't know, that's cheesy too, but our nature is rising. I don't know how to explain it, but what we do is we put our hand on top of the balloon, okay? But everything that's happening within us, whether it's physically or mentally, is constantly moving towards a place of wholeness, healing, happiness. Healing, happiness, it's all wholeness at the end of the day. A place of health. Okay? And it's naturally happening. We don't have to work to do this. It's just it's just a gift that we all have that most people, if not all, take for granted. Um, I'm going to explain all this. Don't worry, okay? But for now, I just want to kind of just go with the flow and try and like get the feeling of what this is all about to you guys. And just want you to know that like from birth until death, okay, there's no like I don't see it as like you go up and then you go down. It's just a constant, you know, refinement. We're just constantly being refined, whether it's from things that hurt us in life or things that heal us and energize us. We're always going to be around things that refine us in some way, help evolve us, make us better. That's what I mean when I say refine. You know, just make you stronger. But yeah, going back now to this what I'm talking about that that we're all just constantly, whether we want to or not, just we are all rising. We're all just constantly rising and moving towards happiness every second of the day. It's just a pull that we have no control over. We're just going there. But we get in our own way. We stop that from happening. Well, the good news is that no matter what we do, we can never, you know, completely block it. Okay, with our we can with our bad habits every day we can kind of slowly build a wall like a dam, but eventually the dam will break because, as I said, our destiny, our nature is to just rise. And let me explain this a little further now, in case anyone's like a bit confused. But basically what I'm talking about is acceptance, love. I'm talking about even physical healing, like I do mixed martial arts and I train every day, maybe, at least a couple of hours a day, usually like 3 hours a day. I'll train, sometimes twice, but it's a sport where you're just grinding, constantly grinding your body. There's a lot of impact, so there's a lot of injuries, and I'm pretty much always injured. Not just me, but most people who do this sport are constantly injured, and in order to be able to do this sport in a way that you can really enjoy it, it helps to be in better shape. So you start looking after your body and you start feeding yourself good things. When you get to a point where you start to like really be able to become in tune with your body, what that means is that you can really find out how things affect your body. For example, if you start eating well, mm, excuse me, if you eat well, you can really notice the difference it makes to your body. If you eat poorly, you can notice the difference. Like really, like even small changes, you can notice. And then when you get hurt, you can feel what's happening, and you can then feel the healing process. And what's amazing is, like, I'm 36. I just turned 36 a couple of weeks ago. Most people in this sport are young, 18, 24, maybe 27 considered old, yeah? But I don't let that affect me too much, that those, I guess, facts. I just listen to my body, and I feel energized, I feel strong, and I have a drive and passion for this sport, so I do it. But being a little older, I've noticed that healing happens a little slower. It's fine, but I can help speed it up with a good diet, good way of living. But what's interesting is we're always healing. We're always healing. And you can slow down that healing process by the type of food you eat. If I'm drinking alcohol too much or smoking too much, or, I'm not going to list all the things that are not good for your physical health, but, there's tons. Sitting too much, it's not healthy. It's an endless list, from diet to posture to the way you sleep to the way you walk to the type of shoes you wear. It's everything, everything. And as I said before, we are naturally destined. We're just healing constantly. Like, our body is a gift. Our body and our mind's a gift, and it's just this vehicle that's just constantly healing. It's like planet Earth. If you the Earth at the core is this molten hot core, and um, it's it's like growing out towards the surface, and then on the surface, it cools down, and then there's this life, and then this destruction kind of eating, grinding on the outside of the planet, but there's constant rebirth coming out from the center of the planet, yeah? So it's just constantly healing, and it's alive, and that's what we are. We're alive. We're constantly healing, and it's not just physically, mentally too, emotionally. We're constantly rising towards happiness. But what can block our physical strength and healing? For me, like, all I need to do, and it's not just me, all we need to do in order to be healthy is just get out of our own way, get out of our body's way, because our body knows what to do. Our body knows how to get to the strongest physical health it can be. It's going there. It's on its way. It's like on autopilot. It's just going there. It's just that you can kind of, like, it's almost like an ant that's like on autopilot back to its nest. And what we do is we put our thumb in front of the ant's path, and the ant just kind of goes here and then goes around, and then we block it again, and then the ant goes around. And the way we're blocking it is by drinking too much alcohol, smoking, eating too much sugar, eating too much refined foods, blah, blah, blah. The list is endless, yeah? And we're doing all of that stuff, and it's not that we're hurting ourselves, it's just that we're stopping ourselves from reaching like full power, full energy. And it happens mentally as well, yeah? So, mentally, when it comes to depression, anxiety, all of these things, it's the same thing. It's just bad habits that we are doing constantly. And it all comes down to, on a mental level, emotionally and mentally, it comes down to negative thinking. So every time we're having a negative thought that makes us feel sad, by the way, remember everyone, whenever you feel sad, angry, lonely, empty, depressed, anxious, anything that causes stress or emptiness or low energy, it's because of thoughts. But most of us, 99% of us, do not realize this, and we're not aware that it's because of thoughts. We're not even aware of the thoughts. The thoughts are like ghosts. You just can't see them, you don't know what's going on, but all you can do is just you feel like crap. And if you practice more awareness, you'll become aware of your thoughts more. And it's really good to become aware of your thoughts, because then you realize what are you thinking more, and then you can start to like guide your thoughts, okay? And this is why it's so important to become aware, because when you start guiding your thoughts, as many I've talked to or coached out there, through journaling, you can guide your thoughts, etc., etc. Or just affirmations, or thinking of just things that you enjoy. If it's Star Wars, if it's Universal Studios, if it's pizza, burgers, whatever makes you feel good, think about it. Think about thoughts that make you feel good, or excite you, or inspire you. Okay, but what we're doing most of the time is we are building a wall. So it's like this river of health and vitality and happiness, or as I said, this balloon full of helium we're just naturally rising to a place of happiness. What we do is we hold ourselves down, or we build this dam, okay? And I don't want to go into too much of why I think we do this, but I think one of the reasons is that we feel that we can. We do it because we can. When we feel good, we're like, okay, I feel good, so I'm going to do some bad stuff. I'm going to eat some cake, or I'm going to, watch some porn, or I'm going to do something, whatever you feel is like bad, yeah, like not good for you. We'll do it, and we'll keep pushing that limit. We'll be like, oh, maybe I'll do it a little bit more, and you're kind of like curious to see like how much you can do of this until you start to suffer. And until your body says no. For a lot of us, we tempt it too much, and the problem is that what you do constantly becomes habit, and then habits can become really difficult to break. It works in our advantage too, because you can develop good habits, okay? So, just to touch on this, because habits is a really good transition into where I'm going now, which is that if you are building a wall, a dam in front of your natural, true nature, your natural rise towards happiness and health, if you're blocking that with bad habits that bring you down, negative thinking, if you're caught in habits or patterns of negative thinking, which is basically when you have very little control over your negative thinking. In other words, you just are in this mental loop or mental pattern of just constantly going back to thoughts that are bringing you down. And it's just instinctual. It's not something you have control over. You might be working or something, and then you'll just be trapped in a thought pattern. Most of us are in this loop, and I'll do another video on how to break it. In fact, I'll talk about it now a little bit. It's related. You guys know how to get out of this because I talk about it a lot. It's like you have to create a new habit, and that can be journaling, positive thinking. And yes, it's hard at first, but you do it step by step, and then it becomes habit. So the good news about habits is that we can also develop good habits. Like in the morning, just writing 3 things you're grateful for, or before you go to bed, writing three things you are grateful for. Just that simple technique of writing 3 things that you're grateful for before you go to bed every night will transform your life. Because what happens is you're slowly reconditioning your mind to become more positive. And now this is going to lead me into how to basically break free of depression, how to break the dam of depression, how to break free of anxiety, how to free yourself. As I say in a lot of my videos, like I can be pretty lazy. So for me, I find it hard to do things like diets or hard exercise routines or journaling. These things are not interesting to me. Like they're very difficult for me to do. So the way I do them is I do them little by little. I'm talking really little by little. I just do as much as I want to, little bit, but I do it every day. And over time, it can be better than someone who's going to say, right, I'm going to change my life. And then they start like with 100 push-ups every day. They do like 3 pages of journaling every day. And then after a week or two, they're just like, oh, screw this. This is too hard. Yeah? So like I've done it that way and it hasn't worked for me that way. But what has worked for me is when I do a little bit every day. Okay? Tiny, tiny bit. And here's the good news for us is that, like I said, we are naturally rising up. So we don't have to worry about that. There's no need to put effort into trying to be more positive or put effort into trying to get into shape or put effort into trying to like recover from an illness. It's not about putting effort into all of that stuff because we're naturally rising towards health. Remember, planet Earth is just naturally, yeah, or it's like rows of teeth on a shark. They're just coming out, and this is one of the hugest blessings of our life and our existence is that we've been given this Wolverine gift, not just physically but mentally, of just we are destined to be whole, happy, and in health. That's where we're supposed to be. That's where we are. That's where we are. But we push ourselves down every day. So rather than trying to break this dam, and stop all of our bad habits overnight, whether it's negative thinking or treating our body negatively, all you have to do is just a little by little reduce the bad habits. Okay? I actually made a note of this. Let's see what I said. So we're driving towards wholeness and happiness naturally, but increasing negative habits is a dam that we put on building the energy within. Eventually the dam will break, either in this lifetime or at the point of death, which I'll talk about later. It's our choice when we decide to wake up and become free and embrace who we truly are. And all we need to do, here's the part. All we need to do is slightly reduce the negative input a little every day until it's habit. Habit by habit. Don't bite off too much. Just do a little until that little becomes a habit, and then do a little more until that little more is a habit, and then just keep doing that, and eventually the dam will start to break. What you're going to do is you're going to, like, let's say if this is negativity, like holding you down, and this is just your rising power that just happens naturally every day. If you, like, say, are watching porn every day, cut it down to once every 2 days. You bring it down here. If you smoke, let's say, a pack a day, smoke half a pack a day, then you bring it down. So it's like these little tiny little changes, yeah? Like it can be even smaller than that if you want. Do as much as you want. But just when you do one, like let's say if it's the porn thing, let's say if you're going to stop watching porn, or let's say you're going to journal a little bit. Like you do 3 gratefuls every day. If you journal, you know, actually that would be like increasing this side. Okay, so cutting down negative habits, you can do it a little bit, just a little bit, as much as you want. But just the important thing is that when you do cut a little bit out of something negative, do it to the point where you're okay with it. Whatever, however tiny it is, but keep doing it. That's the key. Keep doing it until that becomes a habit. All right? Then you're going to notice that it's actually really easy and your life is just fine with this new normal that you've created. And that's when you can do more. All right? And this is how you're going to eventually weaken this dam. And I promise you, people, it's good when this side bursts through, like, physically, you can feel a huge change mentally and emotionally. For me, like I could feel my heart just opened up, and it was an amazing feeling. I remember the exact day that it happened, and it was like something that was gripping my heart just suddenly broke, and just it felt to me like blood was flowing through my body more easily. I could breathe, you know. I mean, I'm just going to say I could breathe, because before I had trouble breathing. And it was a blissful feeling, okay? I guess like people can maybe get confused and call things like that enlightenment or being enlightened. I don't call it that. To me, it was just a mental change. It had been from negative thinking. It became balanced to more of a mental balanced view, a belief system, a new belief system, a new way of looking at things. Okay, that took a while to get to that point through journaling and whatnot. It doesn't have to take that long. It can be in 3 months. It can be in 4 months. It can be in 2 months. It depends how much time you put in, and how much you clock in. So yeah, and then that feeling becomes normal. Okay, after a few days of like just feeling like, wow, you feel like, whoa, I'm like something amazing's happened to me. And then after a few days, you get used to it, and it becomes like your new normal. Okay, but it's a healthier state of living. And it can, like I said, it can be physical, it can be mental. So, by the way, I keep doing this because of the lighting. Like, it gets dark here, so I do this and my camera focuses differently and the lighting changes. All right, people, so just remember that, yeah? So let me see if there's anything else I'm missing out from here. Nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do to stop the drive towards wholeness and happiness. Remember that. There's nothing you can do. Whether you like it or not, we are all rising towards happiness. Whether you like it or not, you are right now moving towards health and happiness. Happiness, peace, not stress and depression and negativity. You're moving away from it. It's just up to you. You are your own slave master. You are your own slave boss. So Loving yourself is key. Self-love is key. And what does that mean? It means being okay with everything. So the answer to every question any of you out there want to ask me is, it's okay. Really, like, I can't stop thinking of my ex. The answer is, it's okay. It's natural. Be okay with it. Okay? You know what to do to like move away from that type of thinking. Focusing on other things, journaling, blah blah, etc., etc. Yeah, but it's okay. Let's say you watch too much porn. It's okay. It's natural. Thing is, when you're resisting, you're like, no, this is wrong. I'm bad. Blah blah. That's when it becomes a struggle and it can become difficult. But self-love means self-acceptance, means being okay with everything about you, the good, the bad, the ugly, the imperfections, the perfections. One of the first affirmations I learned, which I was doing every day for a while, was, I can't even remember it now, but it was something like, I I love my imperfections and my perfections. I'm so grateful for my imperfections and my perfections. Okay? That's self-love. All right? It's just being okay with how everything is, how you are, but it doesn't mean like being like a stoner is just like, yeah, everything's cool, whatever. No, no. Balance, yeah? So being okay with everything, but also having that drive towards continuous improvement and continuous refinement in body, mind, and spirit. Okay? So I hope this video helps. Want to wrap it up with all of this stuff that you are hearing now. There might be some new knowledge coming to you. Or there might be new knowledge that you're learning from some books or other YouTube videos or videos or life in general. Once you become aware of some new useful knowledge, it's there now. You know about it. You didn't know about it before. So it's like a catalytic event, that's being triggered within you, and you can't help it. You're going to be rising and improving and moving towards healing. All this stuff you know now, you didn't know perhaps 2 or 3 years ago when you were stuck in your depressive cycle or cycle of anxiety. But all this stuff now, now, it's in you now. It's up to you how quickly now you want to remove the blocks of the dam or move your hand out of the balloon. It's up to you how quickly you want to do that. But it's going to happen. It's going to happen because the knowledge is with you now. All right? It's just a case of how effectively and with how much determination and attention and energy you're going to apply this knowledge. All right? And as I said earlier, I'll wrap it up with this, not to be gloomy or anything. Like, I don't see death as such a gloomy thing, to be honest with you guys, but it's inevitable that we are destined to be free. And it can happen right now. It can happen in a couple of months. It's up to you. It's up to you, like, how much you feel you deserve to be happy and healthy. Like I said, you're your own slave master. We are our own masters, okay? And, at the moment of our death, it's going to happen. We're going to become free. There's not the resistance ends, and what we're destined for is allowed. So whether it's going to happen at the point of our death or within our lifetime, it's up to us. But the good news is it's going to happen. It's going to happen. We'll be free, Like I said, all this knowledge that we share with each other is like seeds it's like catalytic seeds, all right? And they're just dropping in your head right now, or through whatever else you read and learn about, and they're just seeds, and they're just put them in your head. You don't have to worry about working too hard. They'll be in there, and they're going to guide your life. They're going to drive you more towards breaking away, dissolving all the barriers that we put. All right, but the gist of this video is that it doesn't take work. All it takes for us is getting out of the way of the work that's just happening and being done within us. And on that note, quick tip, if you guys are into eating watermelon, cut a lime in half and squeeze it on. Oh, it's so good. It's kind of like pink lemonade. Okay, so more videos to come soon. Sending out everybody out there a lot of energy and good vibes, and just let's work on getting out of our own way, okay? Things are naturally happening, so we'll meet you all again very soon. Adios for now.